Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Amanda, for those of you who don't already know. Today I decided to create this pink look for you guys with this BH Zodiac love sign palette. It looks just like this. It has every sign with a shimmer shade and a matte shade. This is not a new palette. I think it came out like a year ago, but I saw an Ulta recently and saw it was on sale, so I decided to buy it. And I thought, how cute would it be if I did a makeup look on this and had like a little chit chat about every Zodiac sign and my experience with them. So let's get into the video. Oh, and just let you know, my sign is Cancer. My birthday is July 22nd. So I'm basically a Cancer Leo cusper because my birthday is the last day of Cancer. So just to like let you know for when like I'm going through the video and going through my opinions and stuff, and you can get a feel of like who I am. Okay, so first I'm gonna go ahead and go in and prime my face with the Benefit Porefessional primer. It's the hydrating one. And I think the first sign I will talk about is Gemini. So Geminis get a bad rap most of the time. I guess people think they're crazy. I've never had a bad experience with a Gemini before, really. Like, most of the Geminis I know, like, they're crazy, but they're like fun crazy. Like 75% of my family actually are Geminis, mainly like my mom's side of the family. My mom herself is a Gemini. Like I said, they're crazy, but they're fun, and they're not like afraid to like speak their minds or have an opinion on anything. Like, they just tell it like it is, and I have to respect that. Dating wise, I haven't really had like a real relationship with like a Gemini before. There was this one guy I talked to for a little bit, but like it never really went anywhere. Only because like our schedules just did not mesh. Like, we went out once for like coffee and then met up another time for like a few minutes just to like talk. But yeah, we never really went that far, and I felt like he kind of was self-absorbed and wanted like me to revolve my life around his schedule. Like, every time we wanted to meet up, it's either like he wasn't available or I wasn't available. Like, for me it was hard because like I'm a single mom, I have a kid, I can't just like up and leave. Him, it was like, oh, I have to go to the gym today, can we do it tomorrow? And I'd be like, no. Like, you could change the day you go to the gym. I can't change when I have my son, sorry. And then there was also like this other guy I talked to who was a Gemini, but like that didn't go anywhere at all. We talked for a little bit, but he worked a lot, and then I found out he was hiding a whole damn family. So no thank you. Okay, so now I'm moving on to my brows, and I'm using my Benefit Precisely My Brow brow pencil. And we're gonna talk about Taurus. And let me just start by saying I fucking love Taurus people. Like, they are my favorite out of the entire Zodiac. My closest friend is a Taurus, and that's like my ride or die, my fucking sister. We talk all the time. Just like we're on some like Batman and Robin type shit. Like, that is my girl. I get along with them so well, and I have like the best conversations with them out of like everybody probably. I don't know what it is. I guess they're just like very grounded type people. They're like hardworking. They could be stubborn, but like, I don't know. It's not, I don't know. It doesn't like, it hasn't bothered me. I've never had a problem with a Taurus before. Let's just say that. My little sister is a Taurus as well, and she's like my little mini me, and I love her so much. Now, as far as like dating, I've never been in a serious relationship with a Taurus before, but there was this one guy that I was seeing for some time. He was a Taurus, and let me just start by saying, like, I've had like the best time with him. Like, we had the like deepest, most like emotional, intellectual conversations I've ever had with anyone before. I could just sit and like talk to him for hours about like anything. It was like the best time ever with him. Only thing is, like, I've noticed about Taurus guys, like, they're hardworking, but they're not like that motivated. Like, they'll work hard at what they're doing, but I don't see them really like aspiring for better and doing things. They don't put a lot of effort into like bettering themselves. I mean, that's just from my experience. Like, you know, someone else's could be a lot different, but that's what I saw. And like that I do not like. And I think that's part of the reason why we just didn't work. Also, like, he didn't really want to commit or anything. And, you know, I can't keep someone that doesn't want to be kept. So, alright, so next I'm going to sculpt out my brows with my E.L.F. Hydrating Camo Concealer. And the next sign we are going to discuss is Aries. Aries, fucking Aries. Aries are fucking crazy. Like, every Aries man I come in contact with is a psycho. The women, like, I've never had a problem with an Aries woman before. Like, they're all, like, they could be crazy, but they're, like, fun, crazy also, like Geminis. And, like, I don't know, most of them I met are pretty sweet. Like, I've never had a problem with an Aries chick. But the men, Aries men, like, they are just so hot-headed and liars and cheaters. And I just can't fucking deal with them. And it's like, most of the men that seem to find me are fucking Aries. It's like everywhere I go, there's a fucking Aries trying to talk to me. And I just try to stay away from them, and it's like I can't. Like, I don't understand. And like, I'm not even going to any type of like personal story because I have way too many. I just can't. It's like their anger problems, they're crazy, the things they do, they're reckless. I just can't deal with them. They're like children, I just can't deal with them. And again, that's just my encounter. Not saying they're all like this. I'm sure there's some nice Aries men out there somewhere. But for the most part, girl, no. Okay, so I went and primed and set my lids already, so I could just move on to eyeshadow. The first shade I'm going to take in this palette is this matte shade under Gemini. And I'm going to apply that to the creases of my eyes. And we're going to talk about Pisces. So, for the most part, I get along with Pisces pretty well. I've never had any, like, real personal issues with Pisces before. They're water signs, just as I am. They could be very emotional. Sometimes a little over emotional from what I have experienced, but like for the most part they're pretty like sweet people. I had a really good friend that's a Pisces, and he's a really sweet guy. He's always like been there for me and helped me out. Dating wise, I had this one Pisces man just break my heart and tear it into tiny little pieces. Let me tell you. Okay, next I'm going to use this pink matte shade under Aries. So, this Pisces man, I was seeing him for a few months, a few years ago. And like, he was so sweet. I had like the best time with him. Again, we had like really good conversations, and like, he was divorced with 2 daughters. He had been through a lot. and he was just like, you know, trying to get out of it and start a better life. He seemed to be like a really good dad. He always had his daughters on the weekends. And we saw each other for probably like 3 months, and like I really like fell for this guy. Like he was so sweet and he seemed so genuine, just like down to earth, stand-up guy, worked hard, had a good job, seemed like a provider and everything. But despite how great it was, one day he just started acting real shady. So, you know, us women, we will go and put our FBI cap on and start investigating. And of course, I had my Taurus friend right next to me, help me investigate, doing some online research. Okay, next I'm taking this matte shade under Taurus before I get into this story. So, me and my friend were doing some online research, and come to find out, this man's out here thotting and bopping. Just thotting and bopping all over the internet. I was so hurt. Let me tell you, like this one really affected me really bad. Like, it felt like the worst heartbreak I've ever felt before. And I wasn't even seeing this guy so long, but it's just like I felt like I knew him for so long. Because, I don't know, we were pretty close. And for him to just like go out and do that shit when I thought he really liked me really hurt. And like, I'm not even gonna get into exactly how I caught him, because that's a really crazy story. And I don't want to seem like a psychopath, but I mean, now that I look back on it, it's pretty fucking funny. Like, if you knew what I did, but it was bad. It was bad. Okay, so I blended all those together, and now I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go in with this shimmer shade by Scorpio. Okay, so also with this story, about a year later, not even a year later, right? I was like online, and I had found out that he went and got engaged, and not even like a year after us like dating, to some girl he barely even knew. He was probably dating her for like a couple months, and they went and got engaged. Next thing I know, she's pregnant and they're married, just all quick. And I was like so annoyed by that. I'm like, you son of a bitch. And it still irks me to this day, because he really like broke my heart. I'm trying to decide if I want to do a wing liner or just a regular liner. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with my Benefit roller liner to line my eyes. I'm probably not gonna do a cat eye. I'm just gonna do like a regular eyeliner. But the next sign is Aquarius. Now, I don't really know like too many Aquariuses, but like I do have a friend who's an Aquarius, and she is a sweetheart. I know a couple other too. Some of them like not too well, but from what I do know, they're like very like quirky people, very unique. Like they don't conform to anybody else, like they are their own person, which I really respect and love. I've also never dated an Aquarius guy. I have talked to one before. He's pretty cool, like down to earth, but he was, you know, a little weirdness to him, but he was cool. Like I didn't see anything really wrong with him. Okay, so now I'm just gonna highlight my brow bone with this Morphe highlighting stick in Illuminance, or Illuminance. Okay, so I went and did my lashes off camera, and I will list them in the description box. Next I'm gonna go and do my foundation, and I am using my Huda Faux Filtr foundation in the color Latte. Alright, and the next sign we're going to get into is Capricorn. So Capricorns are the devil. Like, no joke. The devil card in the tarot, it represents Capricorn energy. There you go. I mean, if you're a Capricorn, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. But again, this is my experience. I mean, it's not really the women per se. It's, once again, the men. Like, all the women I met that are Capricorns, I've never had a problem. They seem very grounded, very, like, on their shit and professional and all that. But, girl, the men, I can't. My longest and most serious relationship was with a Capricorn. And it was a lot of ups and downs and emotions and just craziness. Also, like, the next person I saw, like, after that relationship was also a Capricorn, and it was the same shit. Like, they are just very, like, manipulative, like, strategically manipulative. Like, they love to play mind games with you. And, like, I just don't have the energy for it. Like, so just like Aries, I try to kind of just steer clear of Capricorns because I just don't want to deal with it. Like, a Capricorn will do you wrong and then make it seem like you're the crazy one and it's your fault and shit. And I just don't want to deal with it. Like, I don't need that mental abuse in my life. It's just not happening. Are we seeing a pattern here too? It's like all of the negative qualities of the signs are enhanced when it comes to the men. Okay, I'm going in again under my eyes with that E.L.F. Hydrating Camo Concealer. So brighten up my eyes. Next, I'm going to set under my eyes with my Fenty setting powder in the color Butter. This is their Pro Filtr setting powder. Alright, so the next sign I want to talk about is Sagittarius. Now, I don't really have too much of an opinion on Sagittarius, but from what I do know and have experienced with Sagittarius people in my life, I mean, they can be pretty hot-headed. Like, they are fire signs, you know, just like Aries. They also seem to be very, like, pessimistic and seem to focus on, like, all the negatives instead of positives. It's just like a lot of negativity seems to come out of their mouth. From the ones that, like, I know, at least. There also seem to be, like, very picky people. Like, some of the pickiest people I know are Sagittarius. And, like, I kind of can't rock with that. Like, I don't like looking on, like, at the negative side of things. I'm trying to be more positive and look at the positive side. And so it just, like, doesn't, like, match my energy with what I'm trying to do with my life. So I don't know. I just don't associate with them too much, I guess. Okay, so next I'm going to go back under my eyes with this pink Aries shade. Alright, next I'm going to do my bronzer, and I'm going in with this Buxom Staycation Vibes bronzer in Backyard Bronze. But yeah, like, I don't know. I believe, like, if you are negative about everything, you know, negativity attracts negative things into your life, and I just don't need that. So I just choose not to hang out with those types of people. Now, when it comes to, like, dating, I've never really dated a Sagittarius. There was this one guy, I mean, I hung out with a couple times. He was a nice guy. He was divorced, 2 kids. He was nice, but he was a little weird, not gonna lie. And, like, he seemed kind of picky, and he used to, like, pick at, like, little things I would do. Like, I was driving once, and he was, like, telling me, no, you should really keep 2 hands on the steering wheel when you're driving. Or, like, one time we were talking, and, like, I told him my son was sick and had a fever, and he's like, oh my god, every time my kids get sick, I take them to the hospital every time they have a fever. And I'm just like, I don't know, it was just weird. He was kind of a weird guy. Nice guy, but a weird guy. Like, I had to end it within, like, a couple of weeks, because I just could not take it anymore. Alright, now I'm going to line my lower lash line with my Huda Beauty eyeliner, and I'm using the pencil shade, pencil side, whatever. Trying to get as close to the waterline as possible with my watery eyes from my allergies. Alright, next I'm going to highlight with the highlighter shade in the middle of the palette. And we're going to go ahead and talk about good old Scorpio. Now, where do I start? First off, I know many Scorpios. My father is a Scorpio, and my best friend of 17 years is a Scorpio. They are water signs, just as I am. So they're very emotional. The only difference is, like, Scorpios, like, they're water signs, but they're more like ice. Like, they can be kind of mean, not gonna lie, they're pretty mean. Like, my best friend, I love her to death. That is my sister from another mister. She'll probably be my best friend till, like, the day I die. But not gonna lie, we have had our falling outs back in, like, high school when we were, you know, kids. We're grown up now, so we don't really have those falling outs, but, like, they were a little crazy. A little much. I mean, it wasn't too many. I think we had maybe, like, 2 falling outs, like, within our entire friendship. But, yeah. They're mean. So, when it, like, comes to dating, I've never had, like, a serious relationship with a Scorpio before. I've gone out on 1 date with 1 Scorpio. He seemed like a really nice guy. He was cute, and he was, like, quiet, mysterious, like, you know, a lot of Scorpios seem to be, you know, that sexy mysteriousness to them. I mean, the date seemed to go pretty well, but then, like, a day later, like a day or 2 later, we were texting, and we were having this conversation, and he just, like, said something so rude to me, and just, like, straight up insulted me. And I just, like, called him out on it, and he, like, sort of apologized, but not really. And, like, that was just, like, the end of that. Like, I just didn't deal with it no more. I just moved on. Moving on. That's that meanness I'm talking about with Scorpio. It just, like, stings you. Nope. Alright, so next I'm moving on to blush. I probably should do my blush before my highlighter. I wasn't thinking whatsoever. But I'm using this E.L.F. like all over stick in Sparkling Rose. And we're gonna talk about Libra. Now, I love Libras. They are, like, some of the sweetest people I've ever met. They're, like, they just have this really, like, upbeat, bubbly personality. They always stay very, like, neutral. They, like, keep things balanced. They don't like drama or anything like that. My longest friend, who I've had since 1st grade, she's a Libra. Shout out to her. I love her so much. But yeah, like, I don't know a whole lot of Libras, but the ones like I do know or have encountered, they're like really like sweet people. Like, I really seem to like them. They're just really friendly, and I don't know. Now, dating wise, I was seeing this one guy that was a Libra for like a few months, probably like 3 months. And like, he was nice and all, but he was a little weird. Like, I don't know. We just went out one day and like, he did some weird shit and I got mad and it was just not a good night, and I eventually just broke it off with him. Okay, so Virgos. I don't really have too many like problems with Virgos. There's probably like one Virgo that in my life that gets under my skin, but we're not gonna talk about that. But yeah, I don't really have too many issues with them. I think they're very like smart and like grounded people. They're hardworking. Virgos can be perfectionists, and that could be either a good thing or could get like annoying at times. Like, I have a friend who's a Virgo and she is funny as hell, but like, you could tell like she's a perfectionist. She loves to like organize. She likes redoing things, like do it yourself type project type things. She is there. But yeah, like, I don't have too many negative things to say about Virgos. But you know, once again, once we get into dating, there is this one guy I went on a few dates with that was a Virgo. He was really nice at first. He had a substantial amount of money. He took me out to nice restaurants and whatnot. But come to find out, this guy was going behind my back and texting my best friend who basically had set us up. I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe off the white ring of death on my mouth right now. But yeah, this guy, like, he'd be texting my friend while he was out on a date with me, or when he like wasn't on a date with me, he'd like text her and ask her to go out to dinner. Like, you're dating me. And like, my friend's the one who set us up. She knows we're seeing each other, so you obviously can't hide it. And she's my friend. You think we're not gonna like talk about it? And we don't talk about you? Like, are you kidding me? There's this other guy that was a Virgo too. He used to like hit me up on like social media. I didn't really know him well personally at all, but he add me on social media and he would like message me telling me how beautiful I am. Yeah, like, I'd go on his profile and he had like a girlfriend who he was constantly on and off, back and forth with and whatnot. And like, every time they were off, he'd message me and tell me how beautiful I am and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. And then they get back together like 2 days later. And eventually, together or not, he'd still message me telling me how beautiful I am. And I had to let him know, like, don't you have a girlfriend who you're constantly on and off with? He's like, yeah, and I love her very much. I'm like, well, if you love her, why are you in my inbox? And a little something funny happened after that. So I guess he was doing the same shit to another girl who I knew and was also friends with on social media. And I went on one day and he posted a status like saying how much he like loves his girlfriend so much, future wife, blah, 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 blah. And I see that other girl go and comment under his thing saying like, well, then you shouldn't be in other girls' inboxes then. And then I was cracking up laughing, so I went and I replied to her comment like, me too, sis. And the next thing I know, I check and he had like took down the post and blocked me. You don't want to, you know, get caught messing around. Don't be messing around. Fuck you want me to do? All right, so before I do my lips, I'm just gonna go ahead and set my face with my Morphe setting spray. And now we're gonna talk about Leos. So, I mean, I'm kind of split when it comes to Leos. I either really like them or I just don't like them. Like, some of them are really cool and fun to like hang out with, and then the other ones are just like cocky and like arrogant. Every other sign I've mentioned, my negative experiences with Leos have mainly been with the men. I had a boss one time who was a Leo, and like he had days where he was like really nice guy, and then other days he just started to completely like do a 360, and he just got really like cocky and arrogant. Like I said, he started being a jerk, acting like he was the shit, and like everyone else was lesser than him. Sorry, I'm just over here shaking my Fenty Stunna lip paint. I'm going to be using this on my lips. This is the Fenty Stunna lip paint in Uncuffed. So, Leos and dating. I dated, I guess you could say, this one Leo years ago. It was only for like a few months. He was a nice guy, but like he was very emotional, like emotionally unstable, I guess you could say. We just did not have the same views on certain things, and like he would just get over emotional and stuff about things, and like act like I didn't like him because of certain actions I did, and it just started to really like annoy me, and I just broke it off eventually. There was another guy I had like talked to who was a Leo. Seemed like a nice guy. He was like, he had that like cool, suave, you know, side to him. But it never went anywhere really. Like he had a girlfriend he was just trying to cheat on, and baby, I ain't down for that. Alright, so the lipstick's on. Now I'm gonna go back in with my Morphe highlighting stick and highlight my Cupid's bow. Now I'm getting into the greatest zodiac of all time, Cancer. Let me just say though, I've been seeing us Cancers get a lot of flack on the internet lately, and I am not having it. And I know it's because of these goddamn men. I feel like us Cancers are just like some of the sweetest people on earth. We're very nurturing, natural born mothers, of course. I can see that. I do like to nurture people a lot, maybe a little too much, especially when it comes to my relationships. I need to pull it back a little bit. I've always been like the type, I'd go to work and I'd bring in snacks for everybody, or I'd bring the coffee and the creamer and whatever else. I don't know, I feel like we get stereotyped a lot for being like over emotional and like crybabies, but I don't cry that much. Like, I'm trying to figure out where all this comes from. I don't cry that much. Like, honestly, like, I like Virgo, but, like, I've seen Virgos get more emotional and cry way more than me. Like, I mean, I will admit, us Cancers are very emotional people, not gonna lie. But, like, to act like all we do is cry all day, not a thing. Most of us water signs are emotional. That's just how we are. But yeah, I get along with like other Cancers very well. I have another close friend who's also a Cancer, just like me. We are very much alike. I don't think I really had a problem with other Cancer in my life, really. I think maybe one time I had this one girl I worked with. She was a little bitchy here and there, but she was alright. She was alright. Now with dating, I mean, I've heard like Cancer men like to cheat a lot, but I don't know, like that's just something I hear. I've never actually seen it or experienced it. Dating Cancer men. So I have not dated a lot of Cancer men. There is one Cancer man in particular in my life. I believe he's my twin flame. Pretty sure he is. And if you don't know what twin flame is, it's pretty much kind of like a soulmate connection. So basically the theory of twin flames is like you have one soul, and supposedly this one soul splits into two, and one half goes into one body and one half goes into another body, and like the two of you pretty much spend your entire lives like searching for each other. Like that's your life purpose. Whereas a soulmate is like two separate souls, completely separate souls, who are just like a perfect match together, and you may have like known each other like maybe in a past life, and then you like find each other in the next life. Now you and your twin flame usually have a lot of similarities. Like you mirror each other. Like you're basically almost like the same person because you come from like the same soul. So it's like really hard sometimes. Like it's a very trying relationship, twin flames, when they try to like come together because they're just so similar. And I think that's kind of the problem I'm having with this individual. So I've known this man for 3 years now. And I don't want to sound like cliche or anything like that, but it was like we got introduced to each other, and like when we locked eyes, my like heart dropped into my stomach. Like it was like a feeling of like, oh my god, like I found you, if that makes sense. Like, you know, because twin flames, like, you know, they spend their life searching for each other. So like I knew from the moment I met him there was something different about him. I just couldn't like put my finger on it. It was like a sense of knowing someone, but you don't like remember where you've seen them. Like, you know, you've never like really met them in your life, but there's something about them that seems so familiar and you just can't put your finger on it or figure it out. So it was very hard for me and this man to come together because I guess because we're both Cancers and we're very shy, and like it would be like I'd say a word to him and he'd get afraid, and then like another time he'd say a word to me and I'd get afraid and like not know what to say back, like because we wouldn't really like talk like that in the beginning. Like we only said a few words to each other here and there. So if like one of us said something like just randomly out of nowhere, like tried to strike up a conversation, the other one of us would get like so scared and not know what to do. It's such like Cancer vibes. It's like crazy. But yeah, so like a little over a year ago, after knowing each other for like 2 years, someone had told him that I liked him, and he just got the courage one day and just called me up one night asking if we could talk. Next thing I know, we started seeing each other. We started dating for like 6 months. But you know, like I wouldn't say every, but many other men these days, they have like commitment issues. I don't know what it is. Like they're just, guys these days are afraid of commitment. So within those 6 months of dating, me and this individual have, I believe, developed a very deep connection. From what I've gotten to know about him and myself, we have a lot of the same goals, same outlooks on life, same opinions on things. Like, that's how I kind of just figured out, like, he's my twin flame, because we just completely mirror each other. Like, we're almost like the same person. But like they say in many twin flame connections, it's very hard and trying, and usually twin flames go through a separation period, and they either come back together or they don't. Usually when they separate and come back together, it's like you go off and you work on one thing and the other person works on their thing, and then you come back together and it either works or it doesn't. And it's like, me and this person didn't have like a real like falling out or anything like that. It's just like he was flip-flopping a lot. Like as soon as the relationship got a little more serious, he'd like get scared and take a step back. And then he would do or say things that like would hurt me or just like bother me because it felt like he was playing games. But then like I'd pull away and he would like come back like, where did you go? And I'm just like, you want me or you don't. Simple as that. I know what I want. Do you want? I don't know. But I know what I want. I mean, I believe me and this individual will at least like communicate again. don't know if we're gonna get back together like that romantically or anything, but I do believe at some point we are gonna talk. Like, I just have this like gut feeling me and him are gonna talk again one day. I don't know which one of us is gonna reach out. I honestly don't want to be the one to reach out because I feel like I don't really have the issue, and like he does. I know what I want, he doesn't. But I just feel like God and the universe are just like, okay, you go over here, you do your own thing, experience what you need to experience and learn, and then you go over here, heal, learn what you need to learn and experience, and then when you guys are both ready, you can come back together. That's how I feel about the situation. Now, I think it's taking a long time with like reuniting is because, again, we're both Cancers. And it could be hard for us to like open up to people and like express like our true feelings. It's like, even no matter how close you are to someone, it's still hard to open up. Like, I get that a lot. Like, it's hard for me to open up and communicate with people sometimes on how I truly feel, no matter how long I've known them for or how close we've been best friends or not. Okay, so that is it. This is the finished look. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't offend anyone in any way. Like I said many times in this video, this is just through my encounters and my experiences with every sign. So don't take it too personal. Not everybody's gonna be the same way I said. But if you liked, please don't forget to like and subscribe to see more videos. Bye.